Gran Turismo 7 feels like a remake of the original game from 1997, but there's a lot more to Gran Turismo 7 than its nostalgic feel. Gran Turismo 7 is the latest installment in the franchise, and it's definitely living up to the GT brand. So stay tuned and don't go away, because we're discussing Gran Turismo 7 reactions and reviews from pros. First up, what makes Gran Turismo 7 so awesome? You're about to find out. GT7 offers players dozens of hours of races and tasks designed to appeal to the new generation of players into the classic GT franchise experience. Take for instance the Gran Turismo Cafe. It's a hub that developers put right in the middle of the game's world map. When players pop by the GT Cafe, the owner assigns players specific races and tasks from a series of 39 menu books. As players work through the menu books, they'll quickly learn how things work in GT. Things that players will learn range from earning licenses, finding and buying cars, to vehicle customization and racing. This could seem like a lot of work, but the racing events the Gran Turismo Cafe offers make up only a fraction of the large list of career races that are available. And there's a nice collection of reward cars offered for working through the menu books, which is really cool. You'll even be able to win more cars this way than you'd be able to afford to buy in your first week with GT7. Payouts aren't exactly huge, and car upgrade costs can be high for certain items such as tires, which can cost twice as much as an entire MX-5, or a $100,000 nitrous system. There's even a huge range of official manufacturer paint colors you use in the design booth, but of course they come at a price. Next up, how do you buy GT7 credits with real money? Let's take a look. GT7 is based on a cash for credits platform that allows players to purchase individual cars valued at up to 2 million game credits with real money. What this means is that instead of being able to purchase cars individually in GT Sport, where prices range between $1 US and $5 US, players can boost their GT7 car collections by using real money and buying batches of credits. GT7 currently has 4 levels of tiers of credits available to players. You can buy 100,000 credits for $2.50 US, 250,000 credits for $5 US, 750,000 credits for $10 US, or 2 million credits for $20 US. Some people see the credits purchasing platform as problematic though, because the limited set of tiers means that there's no way for players to purchase the exact amount of credits they need for a particular car. For example, if a player wanted to buy 1 million credits, they'd have to spend $15 on packs of 750,000 credits and 250,000 credits, or $20 for 2 million credits, which is twice the amount they wanted initially. Of course, if you're someone with the cash to burn, the cost of credits probably won't break the bank, but if you're on a budget, it might be a thorn in your side. Up next, how do the cars in Gran Turismo 7 compare to the cars from previous versions of the game? Let's have a look. GT7 does feature some pretty wild cars. You can collect cars from the GT Cafe's menu books, such as European classic compacts, and even retro Japanese sports icons. GT7 also features these really cool short videos that showcase the cars and explain their importance in automotive culture. The videos were likely implemented in the game's design for people with limited background knowledge of automotive history, but the developers made a smart choice nonetheless, because the videos provide some context as to why certain cars were chosen for the game. For instance, GT7 Supra and GT-R collections are superb examples of menu books that span decades of car evolution. GT7's car roster exceeds 400 cars, and that's great. It surpasses the roughly 350 that were available in 2017's GT Sport game. GT7 also offers players variations of the fantasy Vision GT cars, modified race car versions of everyday road cars, and the so-called reverse road car versions of some of those race cars. From a gameplay perspective, however, the car handling is exquisite, and nearly every single car feels different from the last. Retro road cars, for instance, feel loose, and they can become even wilder with power mods and upgrades. GT7 also gives players some amazing performance tuning options that were noticeably absent in 2017's GT Sport. Another improvement from GT Sport is the grip. Players report being able to drive out of trouble more often. There are mixed reviews as far as off-road handling is concerned, but make no mistake, GT7 is absolutely amazing on asphalt. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we're bringing you the latest reactions and pro reviews for Gran Turismo 7. Next up, how does the game feel with a racing steering wheel? You're about to find out. If you're using Sony PlayStation's DualSense controller, you can still have a lot of fun playing GT7. However, you can easily kick your gameplay and racing experience up a notch by using a steering wheel. Some of the pros recommend using the Thrustmaster TGT to play Gran Turismo 7. Many are reporting that the racing action when using a steering wheel is incredible. A steering wheel is definitely not a requirement or even necessarily a gaming performance advantage. It's just a ton of fun. With the PS5 DualSense controller, there are times when it feels like the game is trying to deliver too many sensations simultaneously, but the DualSense works phenomenally with GT7. The response to curbs is great with the DualSense, and you can even feel your car skipping over metal grates. And when you shift gears, you'll even feel the shift in the palm of your hands. But if you're looking for maximum fun and have a few extra bucks to burn, consider a high-end steering wheel, and we guarantee that you'll have a ball. One of the many things that Polyphony, G7's game developer, is constantly working on is a high-quality driving experience for players. Up next, how does GT7 compare with real-life racing? You're about to find out. One of the frustrating and negative aspects of GT7 is its rolling starts. In real-life races, cars cruise closely in 2 rows for rolling starts. In GT7's career races, however, the cars are arranged in a single file line, roughly 50 meters apart. In a race with 20 opponents at Mount Panorama, for instance, the leader is already way up the mountain straight by the time you cross the starting line. If you started at the back of the pack, that's nearly 1 kilometer away. Some pros feel that such head starts are a little ridiculous for career events and can make a race feel more like a chase than anything else. So some racers feel that's a bit of a drawback for GT7 when doing career events. Another aspect of GT7 that's important to discuss is, of course, graphics. When you start playing GT7 for the first time on your PS5, you'll be given the choice between 2 graphics modes. Performance mode, which prioritizes the frame rate at all times, and ray tracing mode, which applies ray tracing to certain scenarios outside of standard gameplay. And yes, you can toggle back and forth between the 2 modes at any time. Some players like to use ray tracing mode for things like the photo mode, replays, the garage, but many gamers are reporting that it's not a significant enhancement. Some have reported that ray tracing makes the camera a little jittery when panning across various interiors, and some users think that the cars tend to look sharper and better without it. Finally, what's one of the best things about GT7's graphics? Let's take a look. GT7 gamers report that the greatest thing about GT7's graphics has to do with its phenomenal time of day effects. GT7's amazing collection of circuits is accentuated with incredibly realistic and, as reported, constantly changing light. The crisp afternoon sun looks stunning, and as the sun slides to the west to set, we see a gorgeous pink and purpley sky as night falls. Many GT7 racers found the Mount Panorama circuit jaw-droppingly stunning. GT7's active time of day and weather effects aren't exactly new, we've seen this before, but in GT7 the developers took things to a whole new level. If you play the game, you'll immediately notice what we're talking about. In GT7, original circuits such as high-speed ring, deep forests, and classic circuits like Trial Mountain are brought to life in a vivid way. So without question, the game is visibly stunning overall and gets high marks for that. And it's the little details too, like pit crews climbing fences to pump their fists and waving flags on the last lap in championship races, or the decals and unique aero parts that naturally appear on tuned AI opponents as you move up through the ranks. The straightforward detuning option in the settings screen is also amazing. Now you can finally keep your most loved cars on track when performance limits fluctuate in between events. You can easily add ballast or turn down the engine computer instead of having to head back to the garage to strip off parts to make something race legal like you would have to do in previous game versions. That's a wrap for today's video, race fans. Thank you for watching.